Kelly Cup playoffs begin on Friday night here in Toledo. As we welcome Matt Melzak, the voice of the Toledo Walleye. And Matt, we'll get into this matchup with Kalamazoo in a few moments. But first, let's talk about what happened this past weekend. Walleye, 14-game winning streak. They beat Fort Wayne at home on Saturday, went to Indiana, beat the Comets again on Sunday. So you go into the playoffs on a long winning streak. You knock off your arch rival, because they're not in the playoffs now because they lost those 2 games. And you relieve the ECHL of a tremendous headache because you don't have to worry about a game that was canceled on Friday because of the flooding and Wheeling.
Yeah, absolutely. All of those are accurate, Mark. And I think when you look at it, and I'm sure the Fort Wayne Comets have looked at it all year long, the fact that they got 2 wins out of 13 games against Toledo this year, if they get 2 more, if they just go 4-9, against the Toledo Walleye, they're in the playoffs. That's how razor thin it was, and the fact that they struggled so much against Toledo this year that, well, I mean, let's face it, Toledo dominated a lot of the division outside of Kalamazoo. They only lost 12 regular season games in division play all year, won over 40 games against teams in the division. It just happened that they happened to lose 7 of those 12 in regulation to the team they're going to end up playing here in the first round. But it was a good weekend. Hey, there was a great play on Saturday night. They played fantastic. They were all over the Fort Wayne Comets. Matter of fact, without their goaltender that night, that might have been a 6-7, 8-1 game.
So it's Kalamazoo. In the past, we have talked about how the Wings just are a matchup problem for the Walleye, and now you're meeting them in the first round of the playoffs, a team that you've struggled against all season long.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the regular season can tell you something, yes. The playoffs become a whole different thing, and you can wipe the slate clean. At this point, Toledo versus Kalamazoo, there's no record. You could almost just say, look, we've started all over again. It doesn't matter what is done in the regular season. You just go into the playoffs and you start things up. And I mean, we could break down that whole season series. There were some moments where, Toledo played a game there where they were home the night before at a time change, had to go there, play. So there's obviously some circumstances in there, some nights off for each team before they played the other. The schedule throws you some of those quirks. So sometimes
a couple of overtime games in there as well.
A couple of overtime games. I mean, there's a lot of close games in this series too that could have very easily went one way or the other. A play here, a play there. I think you have to like the way Toledo's playing going into the playoffs. The 14-game winning streak. Winning 19 out of your last 21, Mark. Going forward, including 10 straight on the road. There's a lot of positive vibes, a lot of things to take in here, and you don't really think much about the record against Kalamazoo. You just focus on those things that they've done so well, including being a very good defensive team. At the end of the year, they dipped that team goals against average under 3 for the first time all year. That tells you how they're playing here at the end.
Take a look at the schedule for this first round series. The first 2 games in Toledo this coming Friday and Saturday. Then they go to Kalamazoo for Wednesday, Friday. If there's a game 5, it's that Saturday night back in Toledo. Game 6 would be in Kalamazoo. Game 7, if necessary, in Toledo. So it's the 2-2-1-1-1 format.
Yes, and absolutely. It gives you the opportunity to play a series like you would in the National Hockey League. So that's fantastic to see. Looking forward to it, Mark. I think it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, all games live on BCSN. Mudhens on the road this week. They go to Rochester. We'll see if that offense can carry over after they put up big numbers this past weekend.
Man, you want to talk about scoring? There was some scoring going on this weekend for the Hens. Love it.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap it up. Matt Melzak, thank you so much. Of course, we'll have him on the call for all of those Walleye playoff games live right here on BCSN, home and away. Looking forward to another deep Kelly Cup playoff run.
Yeah, like that, Mark. Like your thought.